Hey everyone, welcome to my channel Codologic. Today we are going to see about data types in Python. Before jumping to the topic, we should know what is meant by data types. Data types are the types of data that you are using in any programming language to perform certain operations and to perform certain functions to produce necessary results. Before we go to the data types, we should know what is meant by variable at first place. Variable is like a reserved memory location to store the values. That is, it gives information to the computer for processing. So let me give an example. Everyone has a bank account. So our account acts as a variable and the money we are storing in the bank account is acting like a value that we are giving to the variables. Now let us take an example. We have an input 5 which is assigned to a variable A. This variable is now given to the system or compiler. So the compiler will execute the code and produce the result as 25. Now let us see about the data type. The first data type that we are going to see is integers. An integer is nothing but a number which holds a positive value or a negative value. The keyword int is used in Python IDE for an integer. The next data type that we are seeing here is floating point numbers. The number with decimal point is nothing but a floating point number. The keyword used here is float to represent floating point numbers in Python IDE. So let's learn about integers and floating points in detail in Jupyter Notebook.
I now opened a Python Jupyter Notebook. Let's do some hands-on regarding data type, integers and floating point. Integer is a number which holds a positive value or a negative value. Now we assign that integer to a variable a equal to 5. So if you run it and if we want to print a, we'll just give simply a. So it will print the 5. Suppose b equal to 4. If we want to print the 4, we just give just b. That's it. So we'll see the basic operation regarding integers and floating points. So first operation is addition. Suppose a equal to 5 and b equal to 4. If we want to add both the numbers, we should give a plus b. So we'll get 9. Or else we can store this value in another variable c. So we'll get, and if you want to print c, you have to give c. So we'll get 9. Suppose we can take it in terms of floating point numbers also. 1.2, b equal to 3.6. So a plus b will get 4.8. So that's it in the addition part. Now let's jump to the subtraction. So same as the addition only. A minus b will get minus 2.40004, which is also a floating point number. So we'll do it in terms of an integer. A equal to 5, b equal to 2. We'll get, a minus b will get 3. This is an integer. Then we'll do multiplication. So a into b will get 10, or 5 into 4, 5, we'll get 25. 1.2 into 1.2 into 4.5 will get 5.33399995. So it's a floating point number. Now we'll do division. So in division, there's two types of division is present. One is simply a division. Where we will use simple division, where we'll use a single slash, whereas in division second method it's called floor division, where we will use double slash. So let's see about them. Let me give an example. A equal to 10, B equal to 3. A by B will get 3.33335 and A by slash B will get 3. So we can see the difference. In single slash method, simple division method, we will get a real part also. Real part as well as decimal part also. Whereas in the double slash, a floor division method, we'll get only the real part. Without decimal point, we will get the answer. So that's the difference between both of them. So let me go to the exponent operator. Exponent operator, star star. Well, I am giving an example. 2 star star 3 is nothing but 8. So it's like a 2 power 3. Exponent operator gives the power of a number. So it's 2 power 3. Suppose I am giving 4 power 2 will get 16. So that's it about it. The exponent operator gives the power. So it is one of the unique features in Python where other language doesn't have. So another important type I have to say, type function. The function which return the type of a data. Suppose we don't know what type of data we are using. So in that case, we can put the type function and we can get the result also. Suppose I'm giving an example. So suppose we don't know what kind of data that a variable holds. So now I'm giving type of a. We'll get int. So integer is a data type. So we came to know that a is an integer data type. So type function return the type of a class or a data. In Python, every data type is in the form of class and object, so we'll get like that only. So I'm giving b equal to 5.6 and I'm for run the code. Type b, I'll get float data type. So in Python, there is no variable declaration, which is one of the special advantage in Python we should consider.
Now let us see about the strings. Strings is a collection of characters arranged in order or a sequence of characters. The strings can be accessed via square brackets with the help of indexing. The keyword str is used in Python to represent strings. Let's learn more about strings in Jupyter Notebook.
I now open my Python notebook, Python Jupyter notebook. Let's see about strings. We know that strings is a collection of characters or sequence of characters. So let me give an example. Name1 equal to Mike. So strings can be represented using a single quote or double quote. Name2 Tommy. So I am giving with the help of single quote. So we'll print it. Name1 is Mike and name2 is Tommy. Sorry, we should give same as the variable name. So now we'll see about indexing. So string characters can be accessed via indexing. Suppose we want only a single character from the whole string. So we need to do indexing to access those characters. So we'll try do indexing. We already seen this indexing in C programming or any other languages. We have used this to access arrays. Same wise in Java also, in Python also. Indexing allows you to access individual character in a string directly by using a numeric value. Suppose I'm having a string named Richard. So here in Python there are two types of indexing. One is an indexing like this and another one is a reverse indexing. In normal indexing, the start position is from 0 to the up to the length minus 1 indexing will be there, and in the reverse indexing the last character of a string will be minus 1 and it will come in reverse position, reverse order. Minus 1, minus 2, minus 3, like that it will be coming. So there's two types of indexing in Python. This makes Python a better choice for programming language. So let me give an example. So name2 of 0. We already declared name2, so we have to do it. Say name2 of 0 means T will get, that is a 0th position character. And if I access via reverse indexing, I will get Y, which is the lost character, and name of 4 means I will get, name 2 of 4, I'll get Y. So name 2 of minus 2, if I put, I'll get N. So this is the forward indexing as well as reverse indexing. Now let's see about slicing. Slicing is another operation we will do in the strings, which allow you to take only a section of characters from a sequence of characters. Suppose we are having a name Tommy and I want OMM. So in that case I will use the slicing operation to take only the subsection of the whole characters. So this will be like start index. Slicing also done using the square brackets only. The start index is used to access the starting position from where you want to slice the characters, and stop index is used to is the ending position up to which you want to slice the characters. Step index is the it takes as step index is nothing but is the size of jump you take. Suppose I am giving example. String equal to hello world. This is our string now. This is our string. So I am giving I want to access now string of 0 means we'll get h. Suppose we want to access ELLO and the space value. So what we have to give is string 1:6. We can give step index or also we can leave it. ELLO space, so that 1 is the starting position E and 6 and O is the ending position. Sorry, space is the ending position, which is the 6th index. So it's that only will access slicing. We are slicing. Suppose we want to reverse print this string. We can do it in a very simple line, one line process. We should give -1. That's it, so that it will reverse this string totally. This is the syntax for reversing any string, and this is also a best feature in Python. Suppose if you don't give any index, let me give now index, step index 1, 6, 2. I'm giving like this. So it starts with the index 1, so E is printed, and leaving 2 characters L L and printing another one L. It's leaving O again, printing the space. The space is here, so the space is printed here. So that's the thing. Suppose we want to print the whole character, whole string, we can give this one. So it is simply as, it is nearly equal to as string. So it prints the whole string. So that's it. We have seen all the basic operation in string. Let's see more about string in the upcoming videos. So that's all about the basic operations.
We know that Python is an object-oriented programming language. Everything in Python is related with objects and classes. So list is an ordered sequence of objects. So a list may contain different types of data in a single list. The data type can be a string or an integer or floating point numbers, etc. The list can be mutable. That means once the list is assigned some values, it can be changed in later times also. The keyword list is used to represent the list data type in Python. Now let us see more about the list in Jupyter Notebook.
So now let's do some hands-on list. We know that list is an order sequence that can contain variety of data types or an object. So let us take an example. List equal to, we will take numbers 1, 2, 3, 4. So this is how the list is created. The list can also be created simply by putting square bracket. So we give the list created. So list 1 equal to 1, 2, 3, 4. And if we put list 1, list 1. So the numbers will be printed. The indexing and slicing can also be followed in lists, very similar to strings. Let's do indexing. Let's say list 1 of 0 will get 1. Similarly, list 1 of -1 if we put will get 4. The last element. So list 1 of 3 if you put will get the answer as 4. Very similar to the strings. Now we'll do slicing. This 1 of 1 is to 4 is to 2. So that 2, 4 will be printed. First index position is 2. So starting. So 2 is printed. So another 4 is the last index. We should leave one element. So 2. The third one is left out and fourth one is printing. So slicing is followed. And if you want to reverse the list, the same procedure that is followed in the string is followed here. List 1 of -1 to reverse a string. List. So this is how slicing and indexing is followed. So if we put type function is used to check the data type of a particular variable. So if I put list 1, it will show list, which is an data type. Now we'll see a list can be mutable. So we know that list 1 of 0 is 1. We can change this value as 7. Now if you print list 1, you get 7, 2, 3, 4, where the 0th position values change to 7, which is nothing but a mutable. List is mutable. Then we'll create a list which contain different data types. We'll first give an integer, floating point number, and a string. Okay. So if I put list 2 of 3, So 2, I will get Sandy. So if I want to access the only the character from that Sandy, I should give like this. To of what is the elements, where is the string is present at this second position, and the element that I want to access is A, so I am going to give 1. So I give like that, it will print A. So it is nearly like a strings. So that's how the character in a string which is present in a list can be accessed. So 2 comma -1 if I give means I can access Y. So this is about list. Now list can be added using the plus sign, which is nothing but a concatenate operator. So let me give an example. List 3 equal to list 1, which is already we created, plus list 2, that's all we already created. So now I printing the list, will get. So we cannot add elements to a list like this using a concatenate operator. It will show error. A concatenate operator can be used to add list with list only, not any data type. So this is a basic about the list. We'll see more about in later videos.
Tuple is another data type which is same as list, but there are certain things that is varies. Tuple is immutable, whereas lists are mutable. Tuple can be accessed via indexing or unpacking. We'll learn about this in Jupyter Notebook. The keyword TUP is used in Python to represent tuples. Now let us jump to the Jupyter Notebook.
Now let us see about the tuples. Tuple is very similar to the list. Tuple is immutable, but list can be mutable. So let us see examples. We'll create a tuple. Tuple is created with the help of parentheses like this. So comma 2 comma 3. So tuple is created. If you give tup, you will get 1 comma 2 comma 3. Another way to create tuple is just give parentheses. This is a way to create an empty tuple. If you give the variable name, you will get the only empty tuple. So we'll see how tuple is said to be immutable. Now first we'll see about indexing and slicing, which is very similar to the list. Tuple can also contain variety of data types equal to one comma 2 comma 3.3 David. So tuple also contain different data types. Let's do indexing. Tuple of 1. We should all do indexing with the help of square bracket only. The same applies to the slicing. We get 2. tup1 of 3 will get David. So why I said tuple is immutable, because it cannot be changed. Once a value is assigned, it cannot be changed. Suppose I am giving 1 equal to 4. It will show error because tuple data type will not allow to change the values. So it is immutable. Now let's see the indexing. 1, 3, 3.3. This will be prevented. So suppose if I put type function to see what kind of data we want to know, means we click this, we will let to know tuple. So let's see about tuple in upcoming videos detailedly.
Dictionaries. Dictionary is one of the interesting data types. It is an unordered collection of data values. That means the value present in dictionary can be anywhere, any part in the memory system. That is, it is unordered. The dictionaries cannot be accessed via indexing. It has a key value pair. That means every value has a key, so that the values in the dictionary can be accessed via keys. And this makes the dictionary very interesting. The keyword dict is used to represent dictionaries in Python. Now let's jump to the Jupyter notebooks to learn more about dictionaries.
Now we'll see about the hands-on about dictionary. Dictionary, we know that dictionary is an unordered collection of data, so that the values of a dictionary will be in any part of a memory system. And tuple is also an unordered collection of data type. So let's see more about dictionaries. So I'm creating one dictionary called Square. 2:4, 3:9, 4:5:25. So this dictionary contains the square and this square roots. Square and square roots we are having. So 2, 3, 4, 5 are values and keys, and 4, 9, 16, 25 are the values. So it's a key value pair. In dictionaries, you can access through only keys. Let me show. Square of 2 will get 4. We can't access index value. Suppose I'm giving as 0, it will show an error, because in dictionaries it is accessed via keys. Square of 5 will get 20. Okay. Now we'll see another example. Fruits. Mango, green, grapes, red, strawberry. So this is also another dictionary I created. Suppose I want the fruit with yellow color, so I am giving fruits yellow. If it is a string, we should give using single quote or double quote to access a string value. So mango, fruits, red, we get strawberry. So we can access via keys only in dictionaries. Then fruit dot keys will help you to print all the keys in a dictionaries. Okay. Yellow, green, red, purple. Fruits. Yellow, green, red. The fruit as already I have created before that is shown now. So fruits.key we will get yellow, green, red. It is used to show all the key values present in dictionary. So similarly, to print all the values present in dictionary, we have to put values bracket. So it will print all the values in the dictionary. So to show all the values in a dictionary. So I have said we print only keys. This will print all the values. So fruit dot key function is used to print all the keys and value function is used to print all. Now if we want to print all the keys and values, we have to give fruits dot item. We should give items. Fruits dot items. It will print all the key value pair of a dictionary in a list in the form of tuple. See, this is one tuple. Yellow and mango pairs are one tuple. Green and grapes is one tuple. And red and strawberries are another tuple. So everything is a form of tuple in a list. So fruits dot item is used to print all the key value pair.
Set it's an unordered collection of data types that can be iterable as well as mutable. It is created by the set function and the keyword set is used in Python. One of the interesting features in sets is no duplicate elements can be created in sets. So that's why it is very much important in Python. Boolean is a lost data type. It contains either true value or false value. It represents one of the two values only. The keyword bool is used in Python for booleans. Now let us learn more about booleans in Python.
Now we'll see about sets. Sets are also an unordered collection of data type, so it cannot be accessed via indexing. So let me give some examples. My set equal to 1, 2, 3. So it is to form a set, to create a set, we should use set function. This is a keyword to create a set. So if I want to check the data type of my set, let me put the type function to check it. So we'll get set is, so it's showing in the output cell. So we'll see another function called add function. which help to add values to the set. Let me show you. My set dot add, if you want to add value 1, I'm giving 1. So if I put my set 1, I'll get 1. If I want to add value 2 to the set, my set 1 dot 2, I will get 1, 2. So again I'm adding 2. Let's watch this. Dot add 2. Second time the 2 won't get added because the set cannot take any duplicate elements. So that's the speciality of set. So that's why it is highly optimized. Set is a highly optimized data type because we cannot add any duplicate elements in this set. So that's it about the set. We'll go to the Boolean now. Booleans. There's only 2 values. It's like a binary value 0 or 1. Same wise, true or false. True and false are the keywords that's used for Booleans. So if you ask the type, it will show bool. So that's a keyword that is used for Booleans. So Booleans will be used in the case of condition statements. So I will say one condition statement. 1 is greater than 2. We don't know 1 is greater than 2 or not. So we have to check it. So if it is, it doesn't. So it will print false or else it will print true. So it prints false. So 1 is not greater than 2. Now we'll check 2 is equal to 3. Whether it's equal. No, it is not. So it is printing as false. Thank you for watching this video. If you have any doubt, you can ask your doubt in the comment section. If you like this video, click on the like button, share it with your friends, and don't forget to subscribe my channel.